go live. We are now live on Facebook, so thank you very much for joining us. My name is Pila Dlamini, and I want to thank the panelists first for being part of this yet another episode of Simply Speaking, and thank you to all of Facebook fans, or rather friends, if I might say, for joining us. At this point, I will allow you as a panelist you can take your phones and go to our page and share on your timelines. It's really entirely up to you, because at this point, you want your friends and your business, associates to also tune in. So this is a chance for you to just share on your timeline that you are on TV, if I should say, before I actually allow all of you to introduce yourselves. As I said, my name is Pila, and I understand that you guys have got busy schedules. Let me apologize to our viewers to say we are 15 minutes late, and we apologize. Simply Speaking is known for keeping time, but we had a bit of technical issues and we couldn't start because we want to give you the best production, as always, and keep up to that good standard that we have. But finally, we're here, and thank you for joining us. At this point, may I allow our panelists to introduce themselves? I will start with Zinhle Matsebula. Please, Zinhle, go ahead and let the people know who you are and what you do, and anything else that you are famous for.
Thank you so much, Pila. My name is Zinhle Matsebula. I am Mrs. Mieni. I'm one of the directors of Zimpa Investment. Zimpa Investment is a group of companies. We're trading as Alosol, which is the cash cow of the group. It's the big business where we actually do tender for public and private. It deals with aluminium, windows, doors, showers, balustrading as well. And we actually venturing into doing garage doors using aluminium and anything that is innovative where we can use glass and aluminium. Then we have granite, which is actually the new one. We do granite hops, and we want to go into quartz. When you need actually to have the best kitchen ever, you can contact us. We don't do the furniture part of it, but we actually do the toppings, the granite toppings. We can use it in toilets, you can use it in pavings, and all that. Then we have a company called Isitalo Properties, which is an events one. We actually rent out stretch tents of different colors, mainly white and charcoal, and music. Actually, we have we offer system, actually PA system. That's what we actually do. So Zimpa is the group that has got the 3 companies. What I'm actually famous for, I'm actually famous for being, I'm a very sociable person. I love people, and I'm actually very good in managing stakeholders. Yeah, so I'm very good in networking. So that's what maybe I can be known for. I love taking pictures, and I love fashion as well.
All right, thank you, Zinhle. That is a mouthful. And
yes.
We will go through, those companies, because today we're all about business, and I'm pretty sure we'll ask questions pertinent to your different businesses. So it's going to be very exciting to hear more about, your experience at this point in time. And we're very happy to have you. Thank you for making the time to be with us. May I move on to Mr. Banele Benjamin Bennett?
Hi, Pila, and hi to the viewers at home. My name is Banele Bennett. I'm a co-director of Banongnedo Commodities, which is a company that deals with soft grain commodities. And we are currently into yellow maize production. We are currently producing at a scale of 115 hectares. And we also into the animal sector, whereby we also do some beef production. It's still at its infancy, but yeah, we're trying. By profession, I'm an agricultural economist, and also I'm also a development financier expertise. What I love best, I love developing people. I'm currently also working for the National Maize Corporation as a farmer development officer, which we help develop local soft commodity producers in the country. And yeah, and I think that's all from my side, man. I don't know what I'm going to say.
It's all right. I mean, it's all right. Maybe by the time we finish the show, you will know and you will share with us. Thank you very much for being with us as well. Please do develop me, as you say that you are a developer of people. So I'm excited to be in your midst, tonight. And hopefully a lot of other young people will get the benefits of, connecting with you and also being, a part of your circle. Thank you very much. May I allow Mpumi as well to introduce herself?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Fufu Mpumi Zwane, Mrs. Ngube. I am the Managing Director of Glam Professional Eswatini, and I am also Public Relations Officer for a newly formed association, Beauty Industry in Swaziland, in Eswatini. Apologies there. So I am their Public Relations Officer. I'm very, very passionate about educating. My core business is educating in the beauty industry because we realized that there was such a gap in as far as proper education is concerned here in the kingdom, so that is what I'm greatly passionate about. I'm very passionate about instilling great business skills to my students. I'll call them my students for lack of a better word. I'm also a very inspirational person. My classes, I mean, everyone knows I'm very famous for talking too much on Facebook, but I'm not chacharach, as most people would say it. I just say it as it is. I always like saying I speak always my version of my truth. If it's my truth, I'm going to speak it. So that's basically it. And I'm also a manager at Glam Professional International. They are based in Pretoria. Their head offices are in Pretoria. I manage the company as well. So yeah, that's what I do.
All right, thank you, Mpumi. I'm definitely in the midst of greatness tonight. I feel like I don't even deserve to be here as you guys are introducing yourselves.
You are not wealthy. Yeah.
I'm not wealthy. I thought you said you were not chachara. Thank you very much, Mpumi, for being here. It's really a breath of fresh air. We really, really appreciate it. And last but not least, unfortunately, he can't switch on his video because it's somewhere where the network is not good enough for both video and audio. But I will allow a man that needs no introduction to introduce himself. Mr. Msweli, would you please go for it, sir?
Thank you very much, Pila, and hi to all my panelists, and a good evening to all of our guests.
Yeah, we did say the network is not really good down there.
Yeah.
So we've lost you, Mr. Msweli. When you do come back, though, we will allow you to.
Artist, I'm a designer and a social. Hello.
Yes, you are back now. Please continue. You are back.
Perfect. Sorry about that. Yes, as you mentioned, I'm in Vuvulane, which is middle of nowhere, and our network connectivity is a nightmare. But hopefully, we'll be good for most of tonight. Yes, as I was mentioning, I'm a designer, artist, and social entrepreneur. And within the social entrepreneur segment, I'm a director of a company called Jerome Paul, which is an umbrella company of my endeavors, which puts in the art, puts in the fashion and furniture and food at the moment through the Vuvulane food market. So yeah, for now, that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Msweli, and welcome to all of you. Let me just say what an honor it is, to have you at Simply Speaking, because first of all, we do take full cognizance of the fact that it's quite a difficult time to be running business at this point. But we do, appreciate and acknowledge the fact that you are here tonight and you want to share your experience. We are doing a series called Homeschooled by a Virus. Essentially what that means is we all find ourselves in the same situation because of the global pandemic that is COVID-19. And we've had to adapt to a situation that when the year started, we were not prepared for. None of us was prepared for this. We've seen schools shut down. We've seen routines and work lives basically being disrupted. But more than anything, we've seen economies take a very big hit. And we know that economies are being driven by business. And we know that, especially in our country at this point, there's a huge focus on small and medium enterprises. And that's basically you guys. And we want to just know, and I'm pretty sure the people out there as well would want to know, you know, what has been your experience with this COVID pandemic? What has it essentially done to your business? And we also acknowledge the fact that it might not all be negative. For instance, there's people that supply PPE that have hit it big, you know, right now, because there's a very huge need for masks, for gloves, and for other types of PPE as well. There's people that are in the pharmaceutical industry who maybe at this point are selling a lot of vitamin C and selling a lot of flu medication in general. So for those guys, even in small and medium enterprises, they're doing really well. But there's other people who have taken a hit. So we'd love to just know what your experiences have been with COVID, and really just go for it. Just, you know, let us know what has happened to you at this point. You spoke about the beauty industry. I'm married, and you know, my wife gets ready for events and stuff, and the beauty industry spends quite a bit of I'll say our income. So I'd love to know what has happened to your industry at this point. Please just let us know.
For us as an industry, it has been the toughest. For a very long time, we were shut down for about 3 months with zero income. So that really affected us greatly so. And what hurt us the most is the fact that the industry hires a lot of single mothers, single women that are trying hard to push for themselves. So it's been such a terrible time for us. A lot of the people that subscribe to Eswatini Health and Beauty Association have actually let us know that they've had to shut down businesses. They have had to downscale on their staff members. They have had to, you know, even compromise on the quality of products that they use, because right now it's just survival of the fittest actually in the industry. And we will also remember that actually the industry is not as open as everyone else believes it is, because government gave us a very confused and confusing statement whereby we were told that, okay, now beauty salons may open, but only hair salons may open, and hair salons may open, but only one person is allowed at a time at that salon. It left people confused. What is that? And then they said nail spas, beauty spas and whatnot may open, but no beauty procedures are allowed. Again, it is such a confusing time for us. So it's been really, really tough. And another thing about it is that, I don't know if I'm allowed to actually mention it, or no saying issues in at a time. Pila, you've disappeared. I don't know if you can hear me.
I'm here. I don't know how.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Okay.
So another thing, it's not the show for it, but is that in industry, my estate agents is not regulated. Whoever decides how much rent they want to charge. And half the places where our businesses are located, they are not even worth the money that people are paying. So already, even before COVID started, there was already a challenge in as far as that is concerned. So it's been really bad, and there's not much we can do to assist. There is not much that we can do, you know, to try and speak positivity, give or accept, okay, maybe later on during the show, I will advise them what I have advised my students and what they are doing and how well they are doing. So otherwise, business in a premise, it is not working out because premises are expensive. People are behind in rent. Electricity, it is super expensive when you are running our type of business. Water, it is super expensive when you are running our type of business. So it's been such a challenge. We don't know what's it. Walking around Manzini shopping mall the other day, I was literally in tears. Salons are empty. Corridors are empty. No one is there. Who is going to rescue the industry? We don't know at this point.
Wow, man. I mean, I knew it was bad, but I don't think I was prepared to get, you know, the depth of how bad it is. And I think with you explaining it so brilliantly even, and I must say, this is the show, Mpumi, so don't be afraid to, you know, share. I mean, we are simply speaking, and we don't know who's listening. We don't know who's watching. You know, the person right now who's watching could be the one who could assist with regulating the property industry. The person who's watching now could be the one to actually come in and intervene, with whether from government or from the private sector, to assist in this particular industry. Because the truth is, a lot of our sisters and brothers are working or running salons. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I've seen a lot of my friends, you know, even have afros. I hardly ever have this amount of hair, purely because of, you know, the lockdown at this point. And this is not to even blame government. It's what the situation calls for. It's what the entire globe has really done to try and curb the disease. But we can't run away from the fact that we are being impacted, and we're losing, you know, more than we are gaining at this point. And it'll be interesting to see how we strike the balance going forward. But although, you know,
although may I mention that as I sit here and as I have been watching the situation, I will say somehow our municipalities should shoulder the blame. Reason being that a beauty industry, it is called the health and beauty industry. Who has a health certificate hanging on their wall right now? It's a rhetorical question. I am sure if municipalities are listening, they are taking note of what I'm trying to say. There are buildings whereby the salons are situated, which are not even fit for human occupancy, but they're there. Landlords are making money through them. But who gave the permission for those buildings to operate without a health report? Because if all those systems were in place, we wouldn't be as hard hit as we have been right now.
Yeah, definitely. And you're raising a very pertinent and very important question, because there's no way we can run away from it. And you are the expert, you know exactly some of the conditions that you guys are working in. And I think we hope, you know, the powers that be are with us now, and they can take, you know, they can take this up. We definitely come back to you, Mpumi, and speak more about that. But I'd love to hear, Banele, you are in agriculture and you are in the production of maize and animal feed. What has your experience been during this pandemic?
Pilar and viewers at home, I mean, it's for us, it's been not a very bad period, to be honest. One, because when the COVID restrictions came into place, most of the producers were done with operations, the most critical operations, which was weed control, pest control. So maize was just at a drying off stage. So there was nothing to do, it's just to wait for the maize to dry off. So I think on the grain sector side, it's almost close to normal. But now, the problem was now, I mean, those who did early planting, because when the restrictions came in, they were supposed to be harvesting. I always tell my friends that, you know, with the legislation that was put in place, it's all about, with the cops you find on the road, it's all about how they interpret the law. It's not what the law says. So you find yourself, I was helping a friend of mine, Towoto, was doing his harvesting at that moment in time. He was really stranded because he couldn't harvest because of I mean, police officers busy wanting this and that, this and that, this and that. Even if agriculture was regarded as a critical sector at that moment in time. But, you know, we always had problems. Yes, at the end, it was sorted out, but, you know, that kind of problems that was faced in that moment in time did kind of impact on the yield or, I mean, on certain operations. But also, I mean, with the soft commodity side, it was quite okay. But the problem now, it's on the high value side. Your vegetables, your piggery, your, you know, those kind of sectors, whereby produce was ready for the market. Markets were closed. People had nowhere to sell their produce. Vegetables, once they stay long on the field, definitely they just go to waste. I have a friend of mine who's into a piggery. He's also a banker. I mean, he once asked me to find him a market. I couldn't find him a market. But there was light at the end of the tunnel with some of these producers, whereby they decided, you know what, let's slaughter, let's go up the value chain. Let's slaughter these animals of ours, package them, and then sell it to consumers directly. It's more money for them. It's, I mean, they're kind of getting rid of these mealy people, the middlemen, who usually make the most out of every commodity. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it was good for them. It was more income to them. But trust me, pigs were lying around, unable to be sold. Vegetables were lying on the ground. Some were getting rotten. But I mean, it was really scary. But at the end of the day, I think government came to the party, and everything was kind of, after the opening of these restrictions, and I'm sure some of these supermarkets were able to absorb some of the commodities and some of the produce from the local farmers. But honestly speaking, it was a bad time for our local farmers. But on the grain side, I think everything was almost close to normal. It would have been bad, guys, if this pandemic happened at around October, November, December. That's when we're doing most of our planting. That's when we're doing most of our operations. Can you imagine being restricted to go and do herbicide application, being restricted to go and do pesticide control application? It would have been definitely catastrophic. But thank God, everything came in March.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Banyele, for that insight. And it's always important to speak to the people on the ground, because I can promise you now, from where I stand, it looked as though it was the best time for the agriculture sector, because people were at home, people were buying food, you know, the guys are not at school anymore, they're at home, which means homes need to fill up their fridges twice as much as they do when children are at school, you know. So to hear this perspective from you now, and how some of the animals were just lying around and some of the vegetables were actually going to waste, is an eye-opener as well. And I'd also love to again, you know, just say when the pandemic came in, like I said when we started, it took everyone by surprise. Nobody was prepared, including our government. Obviously, we always expect higher standards from them as the powers that be, because we feel like, you know, like a father in a house or parents in a home, you always look to them and say, look, you must come with a solution, you know. But this has showed us that, you know, unity and collaboration is always the best. I'm happy to hear you are assisting your friends as well in terms of finding a market. Thank you for that insight. Zinhle, how did you, or how were you affected in your multiple businesses? You spoke of tendering, you spoke of putting in granite tops, you spoke of steel manufacturing, or I don't know, man, just give us the lowdown. I think you are muted. If you can please unmute, and yeah, sorry.
Thank you so much, PhD. I think I will actually try to summarize all the businesses. Maybe let me say something that I have seen that has helped in Zimpa Group is diversification. If we did not have diverse companies, we should actually hit the hardest road. The reason is that with the events one, where we have actually strange chants and music, definitely it was a zero, because weddings were limited and everything. So people postponed their functions. Parties were not allowed. So we recorded a zero. So I could have imagined if we were only concentrating on the events management or the events business, it was going to be disastrous in the first 3 months, especially when there was almost a total shutdown. Then when it comes to the other businesses, we thought that the businesses, people will actually be not certain of the future. You know, when we are certain of the future, everyone will be holding his or her cash, right? And saying that I am not continuing with this building until I'm certain. But we actually saw a different way. People were actually certain of the future. People thought COVID is here and COVID is going to end, and COVID is going to end soon, because that's what we actually learned from China. You remember when COVID started here, they said China is COVID free. So within some few months, let me say, not even within 3 months, within some few months, China was good with COVID. Taiwan was doing well. So I'm sure people like, actually Emaswati, they were in that idea that COVID is going to be here and it's going to pause. Swazi's, when it comes to the aluminum and granite, they continued looking for, or maybe building their buildings, like they actually continued supporting us. So what we did at Zimpa Investment, as soon as South Africa announced the lockdown, we knew that Swaziland will be in a lockdown as well. Like when South Africa is locked down, our business, because we take the raw material, almost 90% of our material is from South Africa. What we made sure, we asked the company, our supplier, we have a good relationship with one company in South Africa. We asked them to give us stock, right? So, you know, when they say cash is king, during COVID, when you had stock, you were the king. So we knew that we will not be able to actually buy from South Africa. And if we are one of the companies that have stock, it means all the customers will come to us if they need aluminum. So we made sure that we do have an account. It's not that we had a lot of cash that we actually had to put on stock, right? So we told them that we have stock of 3 to 4 months. And they gave us that. Why? Because they rather have the stock with us than sitting with stock, because they were going to close, and they're going to close in a week. I think they announced in a week they were going to close. So they actually gave us the stock. So during COVID, we had everything. Anyone wanted a door, they wanted windows, we had the stock. So the team looked at the colors that were fast moving and the extrusion that they needed. And it comes to, again, with granite. People still, our granite business is actually relatively new compared to the aluminum. They still don't know that we do have granite in Swaziland. Now they were actually forced to buy from us because they couldn't buy from South Africa, right? But what we did, because we are not looters, we never inflated any prices during COVID. We did not take advantage of Emaswati that now they will not have access to go to over the border and buy granite. So we actually, we sat down and said, COVID is here, whether it's going to stay or not, we should actually see on how we're going to win, right? Then I'm not sure whether I should continue in terms of the support that we received from our stakeholders. The other very important thing when you are actually running a business is to know your stakeholders, is to put them in different baskets, know who to use, when and how. So we knew that we do have a bank as a stakeholder. Most people, Pila, they think I actually work at Standard Bank. Standard Bank, I'm actually a fan. When we asked Standard Bank first, we sent the banker that we have a loan with you, right? And we're not sure because COVID is a black swan. It's a rare event and no one actually thought it was gonna come. there was no one who perceived it. We did not know there was going to be such a condition at this time and how it's going to affect us. But only Barack Obama knew, actually, because there's a time whereby COVID will come. So, so we actually spoke to Standard Bank. Before, when we took the call and called the banker was like, I was thinking of you guys. We're in the top of my list. Why? Because we actually applied a bank to get stock from China, and then China closed. Imagine. So you take money and your money is logged, and we have emails that we cannot give you the stock, we are closed. So, and it was around December. Then the banker said that let's make an arrangement. And that arrangement, it was like, you are not going to pay back the loan for the next 3 months, like zero. So Standard Bank allowed us to not pay the bank for the next 3 months. Then even after the 3 months, Standard Bank came and said, let's negotiate on how you're going to pay the loan, because even if the lockdown has been lifted, but still the business is starting, because the cash flow was never the same as when everything is normal, in terms of even planning, in terms of procurement, in terms of the rate, because now there are a lot of restriction even on sites. They, like in terms of transportation, there should be social distancing. So projects that you can finish in a week, you can take 2 weeks or more. So then the bank again said, let's negotiate. And we negotiated on a rate of a half of the loan. So we did actually get support from Standard Bank, or maybe I think even other people from their banks, but that's a stakeholder that helped us to succeed. The other one that helped us to succeed is Business Eswatini. Business Eswatini was giving us, if you have a problem, you go to them. What is it that we can assist you with? So we are actually active members in Business Eswatini, whereby they are the voice of businesses in Eswatini. So we had that support, because sometimes as small businesses, we just don't need hand up, but we need just to be held and told, and everything is going to be all right. Because it was a time whereby we were really not certain about the future. So you just needed actually that big guns to tell us it's going to be all right, and actually tell them exactly on how we are feeling about the whole thing. So I think during COVID, I cannot say at Zimpa Investment, we were in a crisis. We were not in a crisis. And can I actually talk about this? There is this thing that we take for granted, this stock falls. We joined a fund whereby when we needed access to cash, we had that. Because as businesses, it's not only like formal banks where you have to have a relationship with, because sometimes when you need a 10,000 rand, it doesn't matter. The bank will tell you to actually give you all that paperwork, and the people to do that paperwork for you is 3,000 rand. Then with the stock files that we have, they actually assist you with that small cash that you can need as a business. So access to cash or access to capital is very important when you are running a small business, and you must make sure that you have different kind of access to that cash. I think that's what helped me during COVID.
Wow, man, Zinhle, that is a mouthful once again, eh? And thank you for sharing all of these things, because you've actually answered some of the questions that I wanted to ask from the other panelists. But then again, I think you've given everyone something to think about based on what you have said there. The first thing that I will agree with you on around the lessons that COVID has taught us, and that's my next question to Mpumi and Banen. We've lost Kulegane, I think it's because of the network issues, but we'll continue anyway. One of the lessons you're speaking about, Zinhle, here is the fact that before COVID, cash was king, but during COVID, stock became king. And I can promise you, anyone that drinks alcohol in this country knows that stock is king. At this point, whoever has stock is the king in the alcohol circles. But that's not, what we're speaking about right now. But I wanted to hear from you, Mpumi, that let's speak about, first of all, the lessons that COVID has given to the beauty industry in the country. But also, having spoken about the lessons, I want you to just do what Zinhle has done as well and speak about the support, because She just spoke about the different stakeholders that supported her businesses. That is the bank, the stock fields, and maybe even suppliers who came in and gave stock for credit, for 3-4 months in advance. Have you seen something of that sort in the beauty industry? Are there opportunities for things like those in the beauty industries? When just speaking about a stock fail, for instance, do you have that sort of collaboration in your industry as well? If you could just take us through maybe some of the lessons and obviously the support that you've received.
Thank you so much, PhD. Okay, the lessons that personally I've learned from COVID-19 is always think outside the box. And I have also learned that in our industry, as the beauty industry, it is not about the premise, it's about the skill. Invest in your education at the end of it all. It's not about the premise, it's about the skill. Have that suitcase. It's high time we move from thinking that, oh, I own a business, I want to be situated here, to I own a business. Hi, PhD, I own a salon, it's a mobile salon. Can I come do Mage? I've got such and such a package. Oh, hi, dear Facebook users. This is me. This is what I'm doing. Let us make use of the free marketing tools that have been presented to us. We've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, we've got WhatsApp, we've got it all at our disposal. But the problem is that we think that business is about the premise. Let us cancel that out. And then secondly, in terms of support, I am differently blessed as compared to the others because I've got the support of Glam Professional International. I have stock to last me a lifetime. I have financial support from Glam Professional. I've got everything from Glam Professional that my colleagues in the industry do not necessarily have. But unfortunately, in as much as stock is king, but for me, stock is not so much of the king because people have been closed and they cannot afford to spend anything on anything. Glam Professional has been running amazing specials. I mean, where have you ever seen a product being sold for half price? Because Glam Professional decided it's no longer about profits, it's about reviving the industry. But in as much as we are trying to revive the industry, the problem, we are obsessed about premises. Therefore, we are not working at this point in time because premises are not available for us because landlords, they want their money. That is where the problem is. Clients, they feel they are not so safe getting out of their comfort zones and coming where you are. They would rather you go to them. So I feel like the biggest lesson would be just to always think outside the box and let us just now try by all means to travel to the clients. And then as well, I love the fact that we now have Eswatini Health and Beauty Association. It's still a baby. It's still, teething. It's still information stages, but I am happy to report that we do have certain stakeholders that have actually come forth for us, and they are rolling out some sort of, is compensation right? I don't know, some sort of relief funding to our subscribing members. So I'm not going to mention those because it's NGOs. I'm not going to mention who it is. They are going to be the ones that maybe publicize it. I don't know, because they didn't send us to publicize what they are doing for us. But at least we have those that have said, oh, Eswatini Health and Beauty Association, here we are. What do you need from us? Let us help you right now. I was also having a chat with a friend of mine the other day who assured us that they were going to try their best to actually put us down for PPE assistance, because we also need that as well. So we are really praying that that comes through for us as well.
Wow, man, Bumi, that's amazing. I'm very happy that two things might happen for you guys in the not so distant future. The first one being possibly getting a relief fund. I know you can't confirm that at this point. You'd allow the guys who want to come in to confirm it, but that's really a relief.
I can confirm that they've already started. I can confirm that they've already started giving to our members. I just cannot say who they are.
Who they are? Oh no, yes. Fantastic! So I think that's even better.
Yeah, those who do not know about Eswatini Health and Beauty Association, I pray and hope that after today, the salon owners who didn't know about us now know, and we are freely available for everyone. I mean, even now, as you can see, I keep checking my messages because everyone who is a subscribing member, they keep sending messages. Oh, I'm now stuck here. I'm now stuck there. That is the mandate of the association.
I think my call right now is if you're watching this on Facebook, either now or later, and you have a relative, a friend, a sister, a brother who is in the beauty industry, please let them know about the Eswatini Health and Beauty Association. Encourage them to join because there could just be a relief fund for them. In fact, there is a relief fund for them. And then secondly, there could just be PPE coming in the not so distant future to assist them as they try to walk through this uncharted ground. Thank you very much, Bumi, for that. I think if there's one thing I'm getting from all of what you've said is these two positive points. But also, I'd love to just, also congratulate you guys for putting together this association because collaboration is the new competition, guys. We're no longer looking at each other as rivals, but now we are all partners. And I also want to encourage the spirit of bringing our business into mobility and actually having mobile salons and coming to my living room, coming to my house, coming to my yard. And because sometimes you come to my place and my neighbor, sees you and they want the same sort of service. So I want to just encourage and say, I personally, I'm not an expert, but I think it's a very great step to take. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mpumi. I want to go to Banele now, and also, just have a similar conversation with you, my brother, around the lessons that have come out of this. Earlier, you were speaking about had COVID come to us at the same time it came to China, which is around October, November, December, it would have been bad for you guys. But COVID wasn't planned. And now we know that COVID exists and we are actually susceptible to pandemics. What if a pandemic does come to you guys at a time where it's not good for you? Have you learned anything from this? Are there any things that you think in your agricultural industry you can take home now? But also, in as far as your partners are concerned, any support that has come your way or things that have been put in place for future occurrences such as this? What do you have to say about that, my brother? Banyela, are you still there? I think we've lost Banele. Sadly. Okay. Let's wait for Banyela to reconnect. Are you back? You know what? I think we should.
Hi guys.
You good now? Can you go on? Okay, I think we've lost Banele. As he tries to reconnect, we've lost him and Kuligan. As he tries to reconnect, we should continue. Banele, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back, guys.
Did you get my question? Sorry,
yeah, I got the question. It's a kind of a tricky one with agriculture, Pilar. I mean, you can't store your inputs for a certain period of time. I mean, you can't buy in bulk, because what if it doesn't get to be utilized and then you have to use it the next season? Come the next season, then you have a problem with quality, and then if you have problems with quality, you have problems with germination, you have a problem with your yield, which then drains your income when you've spent so much money on the production costs. But I've loved a situation whereby I've seen a lot of our vegetable producers now. Instead of going and buying seedlings from your vicarage or your farm services, they decided, let's produce these seedlings on our own. They have seed beds, and then, they're doing amazingly. And then also, remember during the COVID partial lockdown period, everyone was like, oh, we need to do a kind of home garden. So everyone wanted to go buy seedlings from vicarage. So every day you'd find queues and queues of people who wanted to buy seedlings. There were no seedlings at that time. And then the government of Taiwan came in, I think around Malkans. They decided to do mass production of seedlings. There are currently producing almost 500,000 seedlings of cabbages, cabbages, tomato, and green pepper. I mean, it's a good initiative, trust me. It's a very good initiative by the government of Taiwanese to Emaswati. But I mean, at the end of the day, you need to do it on your own and then just go from there. And also on the grain side now, I remember when the COVID situation started in the country, there's what we call panic buying by millers across the region, actually. Zimbabwe being one of the countries that was hit hard by floods when they were supposed to be planting, they had close to zero production. So they imported most of this maize from South Africa. And then they allowed, actually, for the first time, the Zimbabwean government allowed importers to import GMO positive maize, which is what South Africa produces. Produces actually almost 90% of the maize. So when Zimbabwe started buying maize from South Africa, the prices shot up. I remember on the 9th, I think on the 16th of April, maize was trading at 3,900 emalanga per ton. I was like, this hasn't been seen for quite some time. What I did, I went to my friend who happens to be a miller and who happens to be my market as well. I'm like, hey, my friend, let's strike a deal here. It's either now or never, you know. Looking at the prices, also is looking at the uncertainties of the sector. I'm like, okay, I can offer you my maize for 3,600. I was like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, look at the prices now. The South African future exchange prices were quite high, 3,900. And we struck the deal there and there for 3,600. Guess what? Just when harvesting season came into place, started, prices went down drastically from 3,900 on the 16th to 2,400. That's almost 1,200 decrease on price. Those people who didn't do what we call hedging of their prices were in a mess, guys. We're really in a mess. Yellow maize was being sold for nothing to millers. But I was safe because, I mean, I took this opportunity and then I did something out of it. That's when education comes into play, as Mbume did allude to. Education comes into play. How you negotiate, your negotiating skills come into play as well. The people you know in the industry, the people you work with in the industry, how do you treat them? So moving forward, it's all about who you know and how you treat people. The staff you work with as well. How do you treat your staff you work with? We're in a pandemic era. I mean, it's a given. It's too expensive for businesses to do this sanitization, this and that, PPE, this and that. It's very expensive. It's a cost to companies. It's a cost to businesses. And it's by law that we need to do it. So if you don't have understanding, if you can imagine as an employer now, you've been treating your employees like trash, definitely they'll be up in arms. You're not giving them PPE, you're not giving them masks, you're not giving them sanitizers. But if you're treating your employees very well, they will understand whatever you give them, they can try and source whatever they can source on their own to mitigate and try and mitigate this particular situation we're in. But at the end of the day, it's all about working together, having a plan, and then also engage each and every person or individual that's in this particular value chain. It's not a one socks fits all kind of situation. It needs everybody to be involved here. Be it your laborers, be it your market, be it your policymakers. Thanks, Pilar.
Thank you, Manela, for this. I think, I'm taken aback by the mentioning of prices and how all of this changed within like a twinkling of an eye, literally within a twinkling of an eye. And Well, obviously, I'm happy that you're one of the guys who were able to take advantage of that. But I don't know if there's many people like you who were able to take advantage of it. But also, you're just sharing the volatility of the agriculture market. You know, one day you're here, and the following day you're actually in the opposite end of the spectrum, which I think COVID didn't make any better. If anything, it might have made it even worse. You also mentioned a very critical thing of how, as business owners, we treat the people that work for us. I think at this point, more than ever, this is very, very important because people's lives are at stake. I know the statistics being thrown around, but the fact is people have died because of COVID. And as it stands, we don't necessarily understand the full breadth and the full extent of what this virus does to people. And it's very important to err on the side of caution. So thank you for that piece of encouragement. We've been at this for 50 minutes already. It's a pity we lost Kulegani, and I know time flies when you're having fun. But at this point, I'd love for us to speak about the future and what our plans are. Mpumi, when we started, you said you would share some ideas that you have that you've already shared with some of the people that you work with. And I'd love for us to go into that now, to speak about our future outlook. We've spoken about what COVID has done to us. We've spoken about the lessons we've gotten out of COVID. We've shared, different pieces of information about the support that is available or what we have received as support. But now I'd love for us to speak about a future outlook. And the situation with COVID has been gloomy, it's been sad, but we cannot get rid of hope. Sometimes hope is all that you have. And at this point, I'd love for us to spread some hope to the people, because even though hope is not a strategy, sometimes hope is all you have. So at this point, let's build a strategy from hope. And because I think you are teaching us a lot on the beauty industry. Some of us are walking around oblivious on how massive this industry is. And I want to believe, I know actually for a fact that it is important to a lot of us and to a lot of our viewers today. So please share with us some of those tips and tricks of how the people in your industry can actually thrive in this new future that we are charting going forward.
Thank you. You already told them what they need to do, collaboration. Unfortunately, we love the power of ownership. But guys, firstly, collaboration is what we can do. For example, we've got so many places. I'll make an example of Manzini because I'm a Bremer girl. So I will make Manzini, and I'll use Manzini as an example. You've got Manzini shopping mall. Salons are situated at the same premises. I'm not going to mention one because I'm praying and hoping the government does something about that place, because it is not fit for human occupancy. But I'm going to speak about Manzini shopping mall, and I'm going to speak about ShopRite building. It's high time the people that run businesses, they collaborate. There is nothing wrong with actually coming together and saying, okay, guys, we have the skill, but then what can we do to make sure that we make a living out of the skill that we have got? Oh, simple. It's high time that salon number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 collaborates and comes together in one premise. Then they are going to be paying one rental, which is perfect. Perfectly sanitize your places, perfectly clean, because sadly, the beauty industry is supposed to be so healthy and so safe, but it is the filthiest. And that is where the Eswatini Health and Beauty Association is coming in. We will be coming down hard on the filth that we walk around and see. But collaborate, come together, open one salon and share that space. If you must be at a salon, because some people don't really want to I don't like anyone at my house, so I wouldn't want someone coming to my house, but then I would go to a clean salon, a well-ventilated salon, a well-sanitized salon, and do my hair there, do my nails there. We know that, oh, okay, if you want to do nails, you are going to find the nail section on the east wing of the building. If you want, who owns it? Not one person, we do. We have collaborated and we own it. Secondly, we need to work hand in hand with our government, because in as much as we love blaming the government for everything that is happening, but we are not helping our government in any way. If you look at the beauty industry right now, we are making a lot of money, Ph.D. But then when you go to SRA, for example, people are underfiling their taxes. Why are we doing that? Why are we costing our economy so much? We need to work hand in hand with the government. This thing of chair rental at salons, it must die. Each and every person that works in the industry must be registered with the government. They must each own their own trading license because they are supposed to be a legal entity. They must each own a bank account. Right now, we don't have access to funding because we don't even have accounts, our accounts. Why are we doing that? We've got SECO that offers training in as far as businesses are concerned. Why are we not making use of it? So we really need to start working. I said earlier on, I was talking to Tianza, I said earlier on, I don't like people who work hard. I hate them. I love people who work smart. It's time we start doing that. That is the only future that this industry has. This industry has such a great potential, but we are letting it down, the people that are in it. So moving forward, collaborate. That's all I'm going to say.
Wow, man, Bumi, you know, someone wrote on Facebook right now that hashtag Bumi for president. I think I agree, purely because, look, if you call yourself a leader, then you must be able to look at both sides and not just sympathize with one side only and then blame the other side. So you are mentioning how much assistance is needed, you know, in the industry. You're mentioning the need for collaboration. But you're also mentioning the need of being upfront with your business and actually being a legal entity and not just blaming government, because it's easy to blame government. I always say to my political friends that, look, you can't just point out what the problem is. You must give us an alternative. So you can't just say you want to remove me from Simply Speaking. Who are you going to put? Give the people an alternative so that they know that by removing this guy, who are we putting on? And I totally understand. I just want to make an example of Simply Speaking. It is not a good show because of one person. It's a collaborative effort. We've brought together many talents. More than 5 people are working on this production. And that's the reason why many times, or 99% of the times, it looks as though it's effortless, as though it's seamless. But no, there's a lot of collaboration and no one person can do it at this level on their own. So I totally agree with you that in the beauty industry, since we are seeing the association being formed. So now we can build on that and start collaborating even further and bring in the health standards and bring in the business integrity and then make it a solid institution in this country. Thank you very much, Mbumi. I do agree, hashtag Mbumi for president of Africa even. You know, I'll take that on any day right now. And Manjale agrees with me. Thank you.
Yes.
Zinhle, what would you want to say in as far as the future is concerned for business people like yourself? Earlier on, you mentioned Business Eswatini, you mentioned your collaboration with the banks and whatnot. Going forward, what can we do in your sphere to make us even better?
All right, thank you so much, PhD. Maybe in relation to COVID, COVID-19 has actually come to alter the way we live, the way we work, and the way we relate to each other. And we have actually explored different ways of relating to each other in terms of technology. You can actually say in construction, whereby the Granite and Alusol, they subscribe to, how can you be innovative in terms of technology, in terms of all this internet related. So Zimpa Investments now upgraded its website. It was supposed to be live today. I'm sure there are technical issues, but we will be live as soon as possible. Let me make an example. We have actually learned now that there is no need to come and view my site. So because people will drive and say, I want to see if Zimba exists. You will drive from Hlangano and give you your plan. Could see this is the plan, this is the window schedule. Let me make an example. I want a quotation. So we are actually in the website that we are creating or that we have created, you will have that platform whereby we can do everything online. You can have your code, you see the production daily, and it will depend on how you have actually requested that you say it. Because we saw that we've had a website, and in our website, we get clients from the UK. We've got Swazis based in UK. We've got Swazis based in the US. So they will want to see how far are you with their production? When we have fitted it, have you fitted their houses? Because some of their houses, they don't have any people there. Like it's a standalone house in whatever region. So then you get actually more customers when it comes to that. And actually Mpumi has talked about collaboration, which is very important, that in the near future, the fact that they have an association now, like the construction industry have the construction an association. Like when you speak in one voice, it's better. You are actually heard better. So the other thing, as Black or maybe Emaswati, we have our problem. We speak in different voices. And in that, we are actually saying we have a common goal. But the way of reaching that common goal, we actually talk about different things and all those things. I've always told my team that, you see, in the aluminium, most of the time you will find a company, because to make a window, I think you need about four extrusions. Then there will be a small company trying to start a business. So if they don't have one extrusion, why don't you actually sell that person? Then that person having to wait for a week or two to get it from South Africa. Most of the time people will be like, yes, come to us, Zimba, come to Alusol, we do have stock. But it's not about that. The moment people, they like putting you in the same pot, they will say the aluminium people. They will not say Zinhle Aluminium or Mpumi Aluminium. They will say aluminium people. And you are all in that one basket. So sometimes you should protect your sector as a business person. Ne? It's not about you. Protect your sector, in that when you actually see that your business, the other person in that other company is doing some faulty things or is not doing well, go and assist, give them feedback. Whosoever, so and so, right? Banale Bennett contacted me and said that you have been doing the work for the last week and now they want to use me. What is your problem? Than saying, come to me, I'll do it. Come to me, I'll do it. One day that thing is gonna pay. It cannot pay by you getting an aluminum business, but one day you will need that person, because it's very important in business. When you are a business person, you have to be a person, people's person. You don't have to have a lot of enemies. I was talking to my friend yesterday that even a security guard, the reason we actually greet all security guards is because and be nice to them. It's because those are the same people one day that will take your check at 3:30 when you can't go in the bank and deposit on your behalf, because we're able to actually greet them or say actually kind words. And in your business, the security guard is the same person that will say, hey, director, we can see, I think here there is theft or something, but we need each other. We need every person. You have to analyze your stakeholders. I always tell people that when you are saying, oh, you know this person, I have to know these people, because why? SRA, whether we like it or not, is a very important stakeholder. And we should know when SRA should actually help us. And for that matter, I would like to actually, I wrote on my Facebook, maybe weeks before about SRA. SRA came through for businesses, big time. Because when we looked in SADC, the way they've structured the way and saying that you do have penalties, we will actually ignore those penalties, or we're gonna leave them as long as you're gonna pay your debt in full by September. That was the best thing that actually the government through SRA they did for small businesses. Which you must know your stakeholders. And the other thing with businesses, we don't read. We have a lot of assumptions, right? We have a lot of assumptions. And you will hear people in the streets saying, they have regulations that are saying this and this. And we're like, wait, show me. No, I had my uncle, I had this. If you're a business person, invest in reading. If you haven't actually, if you've not read a book in the next 2 weeks, you're actually heading for disaster, because reading a book is having a conversation with people that are in the industry. It's a conversation. When you say Malcolm is saying this, it's because you have read about this. Mpumi is saying this because you have read about this. And let's interact as business people in the different sectors where we are, but we can actually have interactions and say, how are you succeeding? Is everything okay? So it's actually very, very, very bad. And you don't have to be, I like associating with people that actually are more successful than me because I want them to pull me. Ne? I don't like to be actually the person because those people that I'm with, they have nowhere to actually, they will pull me down to where they are. But I would like to say, PhD, I have seen you are actually very good in keeping relationships, right? How do you do it? Mpumi, you are very good in innovative ideas. How can you help me to be innovative, right? So that's the other thing that is very important. I think Banela talked about it, relationships, let's read and let's know technology is very important. There's this fourth industrial revolution. We can't run away from it. Let's make use of it. Thank you, PhD.
Wow, man. Guys, like, I don't know who's going to be president now because you're all presidential. Like, everyone just keeps hammering, all this wisdom and stuff. Zinhle, the first thing I'm getting from you is leverage on technology. It's time for technology. Whatever that you can use technology for in your business, do it. Do not resist this change. It's here now. Like, adapt to it. Technology is the way. And then you're giving us the benefits of actually collaborating. A candle does not lose its light by lighting another candle. You are saying if a small business person in your line of business needs a screw that you have to protect the industry, go out there and assist them. I think it's very important for Swazis to know that your success is not dependent on my failure. In fact, you are in a better position if I succeed as well, because at that point, we are all lifting each other up. Thank you so much, Zinhle, for this. Like, that was so power-packed, man. I don't even know why I'm adding and just spoiling all this good wisdom. I would hand over to you, Mr. Bennett, right now, and speak about forward thinking and forward living for the agriculture sector in this country. What do you have to say about, that in your particular industry, my brother?
Thanks, Pilar. Agriculture to move forward in the country, it's to adopt new technologies, trust me. New technologies, new technology and, look at what South Africa is doing. South Africa is a food secured country. It's one of the non-food secured country in Africa, actually. But what are they doing? It's innovation, technology. Hybrids, you name it. You name it. They're doing what works for them. And then you come to Eswatini, whereby we do things because, of certain grudges. We're not being objective when it comes to policies. I'll speak on the issues of GMOs in the country. I'm sorry, but I have to speak about it. We've suffered as farmers, more especially grain producing farmers, whereby we import GMO positive maize from South Africa as a country to consume, mind you. As a country, we are only allowed to produce non-GMO maize. But when we are selling to the market, we're being charged a rate that's being charged on GMO positive maize. We should be getting a premium price for our product. It's non-GMO.
Yeah.
It does this and that, it does this and that. It's more nutritious, whatever they say it is. But now we're given the same rate as people who are producing GMO positive maize. They have high yields. They spend less on herbicide treatments or pest treatments. It's just a different story altogether. It's one product, but two different operations. Their operations are way less than ours, very less. And then come this side, we've got lots of Megli people. We've got lots of traders who are trading into inputs. They have the most profits. But who gets the least profits? The producers get the least of the pie. Secondly, the issue of government coming into the party. Our government, yes, it's doing a lot with in terms of the input subsidy program. It's perfect. I mean, it's one of a kind in Africa, actually. The tractor hire input subsidy, it's one of a kind. None is done in Africa, only in Eswatini. It's marvelous. But the problem is now, it's the service delivery. Is it coming in on time as requested by the farmers? We need to improve on that. Yes, we have challenges in terms of tractors being old, unserviceable, this and that, but are we prepared for the new season? And then moving forward with the industry, it's definitely being innovative. Producers, I won't stop saying it. Let's climb up the value chain. Let's process our produce. With that being done, we get more income. With that being done, we also kind of try to spread the shelf life of the product. Instead of it rotting on the field, at least you can refrigerate it and then sell it to consumers directly. It gives you more money. It gives you more time to store your produce. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about being innovative, all about researching, all about being knowledgeable on what's the development in that particular sector. At the end of the day, it's all about digging the soil, all about making sure you come home with something. Thank you, Pilar.
No, thank you very much, Banele. And thank you for this. I'm very happy that we're having this conversation now, because I want to challenge the agriculture sector, Banele. And I know you're not speaking for the entire agriculture sector now, but as one of the people that are in there, I want to challenge the sector based on what we've learned from both Mpumi and Zinhle. First and foremost, I don't know if we have any association in the agriculture, industry. But if it is there, maybe this is a chance for us to then engage institutions like Business Eswatini, so we can handle the policy behind issues like selling our organic maize against GMO maize for the same price. Because literally, as I sit here now, an entrepreneur myself, obviously not in agriculture, I don't think that's fair. I cannot be, selling different types of products for the same amount of money in the market, but that's a challenge. I believe as young people now more than ever, we have easily the most accessible government in this lifetime than ever before. We easily have the most accessible institutions as well. When you're speaking about institutions like Business Eswatini, that we can actually knock in their doors and have our voices heard. I want to read a comment from Facebook now from Jingsile Noziponyoni that says, "It feels good listening to intellectuals speak. To think these are our future leaders is mind-blowing. If we have such a youth, our kingdom's future is brighter." I want to tell you this now. I agree with her entirely. And she's speaking about you guys, by the way. I agree with her entirely. We have, the four of us, including Kulerani, who was a panelist, we have the power now to start a conversation that might reach the level of policy making and make a difference in our agriculture sector in this country. And I want to say now, Banele, all these things you're mentioning, I don't have solutions, but simply speaking as a platform where we can make decisions and then go out there and start a movement. One thing that I want to agree with all of you is our government is doing a good job. Is it enough? Certainly not. There is no government that's doing enough in the world. But what is our role now? Our role is to look at all of these loopholes, come together and go out there with solutions to the government. And possibly, you never know. I mean, our ministers now are accessible. We even have them on social media. I saw the other day, the Deputy Prime Minister responded to a Facebook post where Kulerane was involved during COVID and actually made an intervention. So what could stop us from making these things work? We need an agriculture sector that can sustain this country fully. And for that to happen, you guys need to see the value in that. But also as an agriculture sector, we need to take it upon ourselves to take over this middleman industry. We can't just be producers all the way. Let us be producers and let us be the sellers as well. And we should maximize on the profits. But this is not my, my portion tonight. I'm just a moderator here. I want to read some of the comments. There's Mzwaki Innocent Kumalo here. This one is from Mpumi, I think. He says, I concur with you, Mpumi Zwane, that this situation calls for us to engage our creative faculties more to maneuver through. Congratulations on organizing your industry. And I want to say that as well. Congratulations on organizing that industry. And Tlantlakayoni is saying collaboration is the new competition. Again, it's something new I've taken from the show. So you guys have actually made an impact. I think I saw Talika Blaze as well. And I know Talika is sitting in South Africa in Johannesburg. And he says, I love this platform. It's an opportunity for collaboration and sharing of like-minded ideas. So we shouldn't just stop with speaking. We should go out there and act. You guys have done such an amazing job. There are no questions for you. People are just saying bravo, bravo, bravo all the way. I'll give you one round just to say your parting shots and then we'll close it off. And I'll tell always to say your goodbyes and whatever other words of encouragement you want to say in a minute. We are over.
All right. Yes, thank you so much, Ph.D. Maybe I just want to say one more important thing that I've heard from, let me say, startup, then the SMEs. We have this thing of thinking that for you to do business, you must have all it takes to do business. Can I tell people that you should really ask for help? That's where we are, we do ask for help. Is it a help to say, Zinhle, can you borrow me 2,000 rands to open a trading license? It's something, because Mpumi has said, let's make our businesses be registered, right? Let's move from informal businesses to formal businesses, because that's when even the stakeholders do take you serious that you are having actually a business. Do ask for help. And if a kind of help, we are available, because Nazi, we do consult from time to time. We are where we are, and we actually approaching where we want to go to, because we ask for help day in and day out. Is it like technical expertise? We ask for it. And that's what I want to actually tell people, that it's very important to ask for help and help from anyone. I am open that we can have a lunch, but at least when you actually send me a message, even on Facebook, don't send a hi today, hi, hi, hi. Just send a message, hi, my name is Zinhle Mathebula. I'm interested in this. This is what I need. Please, how can you assist me? And that is the best than even giving a call for those that have my numbers. We are willing to actually help you. But what I see, people don't ask for help. And to be an entrepreneur, let me tell you, it is not as easy as we think it is. It is not an easy journey. Like, we shouldn't promise you that everything is going to be all right, but it's worth it. Believe me, it's worth it. What we have, we're not going to have those things if you're not entrepreneurs. But if you are tired of doing an 8 to 5 job, you can't be an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship, sometimes we do a 4 a.m. to 12 p.m. So we don't want to lie about that. So that's what I can actually say. And thank you, Ph.D., and thank you to all the viewers.
Thank you very much. And I want to say to the viewers, if you inbox Zinhle, let her know you saw her on Simply Speaking, and she'll give you first preference. Please
exactly. Oh, yes. Yes, exactly. And thank you to the co-panelists. Yeah, I enjoyed you guys. Thank you.
No, thank you, Zinhle. Manele, what would be your closing shot, my brother?
For me, I mean, to the youth of Eswatini, guys, it's our time to venture into agriculture. I mean, the old horses, they've done their part, man. I mean, they can't even go on Zoom currently, you know. And, honestly speaking, man, they're doing things the old way, and we're here for the new ways. We're here for the innovation. We're here for mechanization. You know, our industry should be mechanized for it to be more attractive to the youth. I mean, there's nothing as attractive as being seen owning a machinery. So, I mean, also to the financing gurus. I mean, agriculture, guys, it's the future. I mean, we don't need to venture into agriculture when we are almost 60. That's when we think of agriculture. I mean, when will we get time to learn of the challenges that agriculture brings, you know? So, I mean, to the youth of Eswatini, guys, it is time for us to venture into agriculture. Let's replace the old wagon. It's now or never. I mean, this has taught us a lot in terms of what needs to be done, how it has to be done, and when it has to be done.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. Let me just say, Banyele, I was at a farm some 3-4 weeks ago that is being ran by a young man, and he actually waters his plants using an app on his phone. So he has all of these valves around and water that is free flowing down to his field. And all he does is just go into his app and everything opens and waters for as long as he wants, and he closes down. It's about a 13-hectare farm, and he only has one person working there. So what you're saying about technology and mechanization, I totally agree with you. So thank you, my brother, and I hope that young people—
Imagine if a 6-year-old was there.
Imagine that, possibly. Exactly. So I'll come see you, my brother. I've got like maybe 5 cows and I think about 5 goats as well. So I'd love to come in and have a conversation with you around livestock, because I know agriculture is the way. Right now, nobody's hiring MCs and public speakers. People don't care about all that. It's not an essential service, but food is. So I'm coming in to agriculture. Bumi, please give us your parting shots.
Okay, I'll try to be a Busta Rhymes here because I feel like there's a lot that I need to say, so I need to really say it.
1 minute. 1 minute.
But anyways, I'd just like to speak to the youth mostly. We now have this habit. We have since become a youth of complainers and not doers. That habit must fall. It is high time we stop complaining and we start doing. And let us stop giving problems to every solution that people are trying to give to us. Every solution, when you are seeing a problem in it, that must fall. And also to just encourage them. It is okay to fail. It is okay to fall. It is okay for your business to not work out. What is not okay is for you to hold on to a dying horse because abantu bazothini. I told my Facebook friends a few weeks ago, I said, if abantu bazothini bothers you that much, your response should always be oksalayo, ! Nothing is needed afterwards.
Woo! Woo! Wow. You know, today is a master class. Today is a master class. And I think you each owe us a Zoom lesson on your businesses, on how you've actually made it, and your principles for success, because I feel like the hour and a half that we've spent together already is not enough. People want to hear what you guys have shared. And I personally have learned so much from you. And I want to challenge myself to go out there and actually do some work on the ground, as opposed to just, fanning your flames and just saying thank you and clapping hands and not doing anything about it. Thank you so much for your time. It has not been in vain. People have learned, and best believe people will reach out to you. Please go to our Facebook page, Simply Speaking with Lindo M and Ph.D. There are so many comments for you there, and I'm pretty sure that people will be happy to connect with you as well on Facebook and get to know you and how you can assist them, in their business. Otherwise, we totally are humbled as a Simply Speaking family that you've taken your time to be with us. And we hope that next time you come calling, you'll be very happy as well to come back and assist even more people of Eswatini than we have maybe reached today. Otherwise, thank you very much to all of our viewers, and thank you for your comments. If you have any more questions for our panelists, please continue putting them on the comment section of this video, and we will make sure that we get them to come in and answer those questions. But we hope you've been inspired tonight to go out there and start a business. If you're already in business and you thought there was no hope, for the future, we hope you've been encouraged to continue, because things will change. COVID will come to an end, and we shall, as a country and as a world, really come out stronger than ever. Thank you very much. Have yourselves an awesome evening. See you again next week, same time, same place. We are speaking about relationships next week, marriage, and all those nice, beautiful things. So please do tune in. Thank you very much. Have a great